putting a heap of pressure on them in the NPL. And he's coming up against one of his Newcastle Jets Academy teammates, Angus Thurgate, who signed a 3-year deal with Western United in the off-season to join from Newcastle. He wanted a change, and he's getting that under John Aloisi in the west of Melbourne. The Edgeworth coach, very experienced, Peter McGuinness, who was part of the Jets coaching setup, won the A-League Women's Coach of the Year almost a decade ago. And he's been in charge in the last few years of the Eagles, taking over from Michael Bridges at the beginning of last season. The South Australian Daniel Cook in charge of this one, Lance Greenshields and Matt McCorris, the assistant referees, and Sam Kelly is the fourth official. And Western United head coach John Aloisi, third season in charge at the club, of course, leading them to the Holy Land, the title back in 2022. They missed the finals last year by that solitary win, and is hoping to get them back there in the 23-24 campaign. So we're almost set and ready to go. There's Andrew Pawiak, former Newcastle Jet, actually strength and conditioning at the Jets. He's going to come up against an ex-colleague in Angus Thurgate as well. And there is Seb Pasquale. Fantastic to see him out on the pitch once again after a challenging few seasons since returning from the Ajax youth side. So here we go, ready to go. Match day 2 of the round of 32 in the 2023 Australia Cup. And it's the oldest club left in the competition facing off against one of the youngest, Edgeworth, hosting Western United for a spot in the last 16. And it's wonderful to have a former Eagle, I'm going to say an Eagles legend, in Daniel McBreen. I know you didn't spend a whole lot of your time here, Macca, but you have had some legendary moments for this club.
Oh, thanks, Benny. It's good to be here. Yeah, a club that my father, myself, and my son have all played at, so it is close to our heart. But speaking to the players and the coaching staff of Edgeworth tonight, they know it's going to be an uphill battle, and they just want to put up a good show, try and keep Western United out and frustrate them, and you never know what can happen as the game draws on.
Yeah, that's going to be the test tonight for Edgeworth. 4 key players missing, and they're going to have to do some defensive work here with Michael Roos speeding away down that right-hand edge. And now Lockie Wales trying to dazzle his way towards the box, and he wins an early corner for the visitors.
Well, a good positive start from Western United. It's a strong lineup put up by John Aloisi. Maybe a few young players might come in there, but very strong lineup across the board. Plenty of experience.
And immediately they go short, looking for Risdon at the back post. And the captain unable to get any connection. The player of the year last year. Here's an early challenge on Tyson Jackson. And right in front of that contact are a bunch of Edgeworth Eagles fans on the fence. They've actually got Angus Thurgate's ex-Jets team card, FIFA team card. They've been giving out some words of advice to Western United during the warm-up. There's Ben Conway, the Edgeworth keeper, looking to launch long.
Well, I'm sure that a lot of Newcastle supporters were disappointed to see Angus Thurgate leave. Off to greener pastures for himself, trying something new down for Western United. New haircut as well. Fresh start in more ways than one.
Bit of a buzz cut there. And sometimes it is good to have a change. And that pass has been picked off by Tyson Jackson, another one that would have known him during his time with the Jets Academy. And it's probably well known that when you're from Newcastle, you know a lot of people around town, and Angus Thurgate knows plenty in this Edgeworth lineup today. That's a good win from Joey Melmoth. And now Sutherland running into traffic. And now finding the captain, Pat Wheeler. Jackson gonna sneak his way past Garuccia. And now Powiak, so controlled on the ball. One of those players, Andrew Powiak, in midfield, 23 for Edgeworth tonight. There was part of that Jets youth brigade midway through the last decade who probably deserved a chance in the A-League level, never really got it. There's Garuccio and Risden. Neat slide pass, and Conway came out, and Western United so close to opening the scoring. Now with Danzaki. Pasquale finds Thurgate.
Well, that was a good opportunity, wasn't it? Well worked from Western United. And just thought a little dink over the keeper. Ben Conway came rushing out. Just was waiting for that to nestle into the back of the net, but couldn't quite find the mark. As they come again now.
Pasquale finding Roos, a little bit of pinball. And a mistimed pass. Here was that opportunity for Western United.
It was nice interplay here, and you see Lockie Wales facing forward, and that little dink there, I'm sure, was aiming for the far side netting. And the radar not quite there yet. Early days in the season and the competition.
And Noah Botic with an early chance. Ended up being their leading goal scorer last season. 6 in the A-League men's campaign. All of those 6 coming in his last 11. It was terrific to see him come through. Remember, he was superb for the Joeys at that Under-17 World Cup back in 2019. 4 goals for them, and then trialled with Man United and went to Hoffenheim. Here is a free kick won by Lockie Wales.
Yeah, he hit a real purple patch, Noah Botic, at the end of the season, didn't he? As you say there, Benny, 6 and 11, and he looked good. He looked strong now. And he's really stamping his place as a starting striker.
Powiak with the clearance. It's going to be a big test for the Eagles front line tonight with Callum Stalling playing up there. Youngster who stepping in for Montefiore, who's out injured as Conway spills it. Chance for Roos, and referee says it's all clear. Nervy moments for the Eagles. Nervy moment there for the 19-year-old keeper Ben Conway.
Well, it was a regulation really, wasn't it? A little bit of greasiness on the ball, and it went down, and it was Jacob Pepper who came in, saw the danger. Nice covering, sliding tackle to really save the day as it was about to fall and present itself as a great chance for Western United.
Ben Conway, son of the Edgeworth Eagles legend Dean. He's here at the club for over a decade. Big test for him tonight. Their experienced goalkeeper, Shane Farnas, the South African. He's played as first choice before, but he's been lacking game time this year because he's been doing a lot of shift work in the mines. And you know, we're in the Australia Cup when you start talking about shift work.
Yeah, young Ben Conway, as you said, his father was Dean Conway. Played with him myself many years ago. He's done really well in the past month or so. Starting to get his opportunities in the first team. Probably just a little bit of nerves and getting used to the slippery surface. And there's Cal Stalling. He's going to find out what it's like to go against 2 top A-League defenders tonight. 2 real strong, no-nonsense defenders in Tamoki Imai and James Donachie. They won't give him any quarter. Hasn't played too many minutes himself, only a youngster. So it's a real baptism of fire for him tonight.
Yeah, James Donachie coming from Sydney FC in the off-season where he played the majority of last season. Centre-back has done yet. The Frenchman from Guadeloupe. And Edgeworth are going to get themselves a corner here. So almost 8 minutes on the clock, and the Eagles with their first opportunity here. And it's going to be Andrew Pawiak with the delivery. And he's curling it in towards that near post. Western United dealing with it expertly. Spills back out for Pawiak. Back in towards the mix-up. Nodded away by Donachie. And then Sutherland has it pinched off him by Thurgate. Western United a chance with Michael Roos. And now the fleet feet of Bodic on Danzaki. Now it is Bodic, and he puts it in the back of the net. And Western United are going to have this one chalked off. So Edgeworth breathed a sigh of relief. Noah Bodic thought that he had opened the scoring.
Well, my first thought was he was in an offside position. He'd made that run to the near post, and as the header came in, Ben Conway stretched out for the save. He seemed to be standing right next to the keeper. So I think the referee's assistant may have got that one right. As you see here, it was a quick break. Jared Sutherland had given the ball away at the other end. And you can see as the ball comes in, Noah Bodic makes that run to the near post, and I tell you what, Jared Sutherland on his chasing back, it would have been touch and go. And Noah Bodic was saying, well, he was over on that side closest to the referee's assistant, and he was keeping me onside, but he's not getting the call on this occasion. And I did speak to one of the Edgeworth assistants before the game. He said we need to really make sure that we don't make any silly individual errors, and Jared Sutherland there gave the ball away needlessly, did have players to play with. And you do find quickly with these A-League teams, if you lose that ball, they go fast. They transition moments. That's what they train a lot for.
And there could be another set piece on the way here. Western United with another corner. And Lockie Wales brilliantly down the right.
See, you just see at the corner there, Jared Sutherland is almost back on the goal line. And I'm wondering if the referee's assistant just hadn't noticed, or maybe he just followed through there just as the camera panned across, but that was a close one.
There is a bit of darkness down in that corner, so maybe could have been that as the corner is whipped in, and Edgeworth have dealt with it. Angus Thurgate down in front of those Edgeworth fans, hits the deck. Again, a battle with Jackson. You sense he's going to get a bit of an ear bashing tonight from the home fans. As Thurgate almost had it pinched off his toes by Sutherland. And now Risdon need into play with Danzaki, and Edgeworth again holding them at bay. Wheeler, the captain of this side, alongside Tom Curran in midfield tonight. Tom Curran actually said that he was part of that Olympic side a couple of years ago, played against MacArthur, who basically parked the bus for the whole game. They didn't want to get beaten by 5 or 6. He said tonight he's expecting them to do a bit more with the ball and not sit back in a really low block. So far, though, Western United have got them defending as Wales looking for Thurgate. Melmoth got the clearance away. It's all hands to the pump at the moment, though, for Edgeworth.
Well, it is easy to say that you don't want to sit in a block and you want to play some more expansive football, but it can be difficult. Big step up with some of these experienced A-League players. And one advantage the Edgeworth Eagles do have is ex-A-League player Jacob Pepper in the middle of that back three, directing the teammates and the team to when to get up, when to drop, when to press. Pat Wheeler playing alongside him, and Jordan Lennon on the left-hand side of the three.
Risdon Finding Pasquale, went off the back of him, eye. Western United in their third Australia Cup competition. They went out last year in the round of 16 to Sydney United on penalties after beating Melbourne Victory in the round of 32. Wales almost finding his way into some space again. Edgeworth playing at safety first, and another corner on the way. And we speak about it so often in these kind of matches, Macca. It's that first goal, isn't it? If the minnow, the semi-pro side, can hold out the A-League side for a long time, they will grow in confidence. But Michael Roos going after the header. We're sitting there in the box to be attacked, and there's another set piece on the way here.
Yeah, you're right, Ben. When you're playing against an A-League team, you're a member-fed club, you want to go as long as you can. You don't want to concede in the first 15, 20 minutes, because that's when a lot of the confidence can then drop. The longer the game goes.
Pat Wheeler with the header away at the near post. And now Edgeworth, here's an opportunity for them to break. Andrew Powiak getting up the front there with Cal stalling. But that's exactly what the attack did. It stalled, and Western United back on the ball. Look at the width there and the pass. Danzaki took a deflection back to Angus Thurgate. I'm sure he'd be written in the stars somewhere that Angus Thurgate would get on the score sheet tonight back in Newcastle. Not his hometown, of course, from Port Macquarie, but a town where he's spent the majority of his career. Wheeler finding Jackson. His pass picked off by Donachie, and now Bodic. And Garuccio. And this ball just scooped forward by Wheeler to Sutherland. Can be a spark for this Edgeworth side. Had some great chances on the weekend against Adamstown. And Edgeworth were still in finals contention on the weekend against Adamstown Rosebud and drew 1-1. And in the end, that has ended their finals hope. So this basically is their final. As we heard from Tom Curran, this is a grand final up against John Aloisi's Western United, who are dominating possession, as you would expect. Pasquale onto Thurgate. And now Donachie, Danzaki, and Thurgate. Pasquale measures the pass onto Wales. And Thurgate here. Western United patient in build-up. Wales's cross at Edgeworth, sprawling. Garuccio almost on it, but Sutherland just did enough to harass him into giving up possession, but it's not gone quite yet for Edgeworth. They get the clearance away. And Imai finds Garuccio. They're doing just enough at the moment, Edgeworth, to hold Western United at bay.
Well, that was good patient build-up from Western United. Just trying to move the Edgeworth defence around, as they have done again here.
And Risdon driving it in. And it spills out. Roos, Danzaki, Angus Thurgate, clipping it, and Michael Roos attempting first time, couldn't get it on target.
Now they're winning the second balls as well now, Western United, when they put the cross in and Edgeworth clears. First to that ball around the edge of the box. On that occasion, when the ball came back to Angus Thurgate, it's a neat little dink in behind, and Michael Roos looking to power that one into the far top corner.
And great opportunity this tonight, and also this season, Michael Roos working under John Aloisi. We know in the A-League he's been somewhat of an impact player off the bench. No doubt he'll want to try and lock his way into this Western United starting side. Maybe that combination with Noah Bodic could bear fruit. You've got Bodic, a great player in the box with the speed of Michael Roos. It's a good combination on paper.
And they're both, if you look at them as athletes, they're both big, strong, physical players that they look like they can dominate people around them. Big and strong, powerful, looking to make runs in behind as well. If they can build up a nice little partnership together and work well, it could be very fruitful for John Aloisi and his team this year.
Well, especially if you plonk Daniel Pena in the midfield. He has arrived.
Well, he knows how to play a pass in behind, doesn't he, and unpick a defence.
Yeah, he just arrived in the country in the last 4 days from Atlético Mineiro, his Brazilian side. And Wales. Here is Bodic, and here is the opening goal for Western United. He was denied on the first occasion, not on the second. And their leading goal scorer from last season, Noah Bodic, opens the scoring for Western United this season.
Well, Western United gave Edgeworth a warning down that right-hand side just a couple of moments ago. And on this occasion, it was just a little too easy. Good little play, little 1-2. And then a square ball, totally unmarked at the near post. Bodic with a nice finish into the roof of the net. And you see there, Lockie Wales using his pace. Nice precision pass, and Bodic continues his fine form from the end of last season. And there's the opener for the night.
Yeah, great moment for the 21-year-old who has really stepped up for Western United in the last 12 months. And now Edgeworth have got a really tough task. The underdogs, they're going to have to try and find something now. Western United in a really comfortable position. Of course, they'll love another couple of goals. But this will just open up the game further. And Michael Roos loves these kind of situations. The pass has been missed by Danyet. And offside was the call against Lockie Wales.
Well, I thought Michael Roos on that occasion probably could have ran a little further with the ball. He had a little bit more time and space in front of him. Jordan Lennon wasn't too sure whether to come or stick and help. I thought the pass was a little premature. And Lockie Wales had just drifted into an offside position anyway.
Well, the alarm bells are ringing now for Edgeworth in front of a big crowd. In front of their oldest living president as well, and Tom Brown. 91 years old. He conducted the coin toss pre-match. He was absolutely honoured to do that. Wonderful to have Tom Brown in the house tonight. And a whole bunch of Edgeworth Eagles fans and legends of this club. And just the second time they've actually played here at Jack McLaughlin Oval in the round of 32, the final rounds of this competition onwards. That first time was against the Newcastle Jets back in 2019. They previously had to play their matches at Magic Park because the lighting wasn't sufficient enough here. So credit to Warren Mills, the current president, and the team here at Edgeworth for getting it up to specs and getting these big nights at Jack McLaughlin Oval.
You have to give credit to the groundsman as well. Whenever they do get a round of 32. This ground seems to just get better overnight as well.
Lachie Wales just gliding between the lines, stalling with the turn. Finds Sutherland, has Jackson on the outside. He turns away and finds Wheeler.
That was a great run from Tyson Jackson. He loves to get forward. Sutherland really could have turned and just played him in. It would have been a good battle. That a good race. Ben Caruccio and Tyson Jackson. Two fullbacks or wingbacks that like to get forward.
That was easy pickings for Garuccio. Michael Roos. Conway slips. Gee, did well there. Credit Ben Conway. Because when you've got a player of the speed of Michael Roos bearing down on you, you could get a little nervous outside your box.
It's gone out for a corner. Ben Conway there, you can see clearing the ball away. And a bit of a slip as he changed his mind whether to come back, go forward or go back.
I think he was saying he thought it was a throw, but anyway, the corner, it's hit deep. Conway's punch, it's good enough, but it's going to be another corner for Western. Just one win in their last 4 matches coming into this one, Edgeworth. It's been an issue for them at the back end of the season. Their form is, it's a powerful header away from Jacob Pepper. Wales's pass. And here is another opportunity for Thurgate at the top of the box. Jackson. Here's Pat Wheeler. A long way from his usual position. He's done well there. And now running away is Joey Melmoth. Has got men in the middle. Maybe a cross shot in the end. Looking to bamboozle Heward Bell.
Well, he had 1 or 2 Edgeworth supporters coming late, but when he looked up, as we see the original run from Pat Wheeler, and here he goes. And as he looked up, he really saw 8 white shirts and 1 or 2 latecomers in black. Didn't really have too much to hit. And that's probably going to be Edgeworth's main form of attack. Try and counter, win that ball and go quickly. They need to get bodies up to support.
Backheel from Roos, finding Garuccio. And another corner on the way here for Western. So can they turn them away again here from another set piece? Wales's delivery beats everyone. And Edgeworth, again, another opportunity presents here for them to break. And they should earn themselves a whistle here. And referee Daniel Cook is going to hand out a yellow ticket. And it looks to have gone the way of Angus Thurgate. We'll double check that.
See, it was a good ball forward. Nice touch.
Imai, sorry.
Imai, yeah. I thought it might have been Tamaki Imai. They were both close to the action.
Bunyet with a neat pass, slipping it down the line. Men in the box here for Edgeworth, but again, well defended. It's going to be a throw in that time. Angus Thurgate getting across to mop up for Western. Bunyet, decent delivery. Melmoth throws well. And then Wheeler didn't have an air swing, but it was just as good as it for Edgeworth. And now Western are away. Roos going one-on-one, and it is 2-0 for Western United. The 2022 A-League champions are dominating Edgeworth on the pitch and on the scoreboard now.
Well, another individual error there. And when they broke away, they broke in numbers. And it's a lovely ball across. And again, Ben Conway, I need to check he's got the screw-ins in because he had another slip. But once Bottage put that ball away, it was up to Michael Roos just to clinically place that in the bottom corner. And it's a great start for the two strikers, combining well in these opening minutes for Western United.
So both strikers for Western United with a goal tonight. Roos and Bottage. And Dunyett now slips over. So a very good evening for this striking combination in their first opportunity together this season.
It's just what you want as a strike pair. First game in, a goal each before half-time. Combining well together. Bottage with a goal and an assist. And Michael Roos with a clinical finish there to put the game 2-0 to the favour of Western United. They have looked dominant in the opening half an hour in this exchange.
Pasquale and Garuccia. Here is Danzaki. Well, there were some people fearing that this could be an even more one-sided affair with the injury list for Edgeworth and the players out. And after half an hour, it is proving so. Have had the odd half chance down the other end, but Western United just dominating possession. And they've got the goals to show for it as well. And maybe some more on the way here. Tanzaki, he's looking to get in on the act. Lockie Wales makes it 3-0. It's the perfect first half for Western United here on the road in the Australia Cup. So Lockie Wales joins the scoring.
Well, Lockie Wales got himself an assist for the first and now gets himself on the score sheet. And it was nice play by Western United. A little bit of confusion in the box, and I think it was Riku Danzaki with the great awareness under the challenge just to fire that ball back across the goal where Lockie Wales was unmarked, and the easiest of tasks just to tap it into an empty net. And it's 3-0 now, and it's going to be a long night for Edgeworth unless they can stem the flow.
And Roos floated in. Oh, big problems again for Edgeworth. Noah Bottage, if he has a better first touch, he probably gets another strike on goal. Wales again. Just a goal kick, which is a relief for Edgeworth.
It was just a little too easy again, wasn't it, for Western United there? Just straight ball forward, little knockdown. And as you said, Ben, if Noah Bottage has a better touch there, we could be looking at 4-0.
Edgeworth fans here at Jack McLaughlin Oval, up in the Eagles' nest, watching on here. You've got to pay some pretty good money to get up there, Macca.
Well, I think I saw a couple of Jets coaching staff up there in the Eagles' nest, casting an eye over the Western United team, no doubt.
Yeah, the Newcastle Jets in action on Monday night. Don't miss that one against Brisbane Roar. Looking forward to that one from Maitland Sports Ground. Should be a big crowd in at Maitland for that one. Great to see the Jets taking one to another part of the region. Opportunity here for Stalling, looking for the first time shot. Really had to go because Imai was bearing down on him.
It was a great through ball. And James Donachie just got deceived by the flight, and as soon as the ball bounced, it skipped away into the path of Stalling. And it wasn't a bad opportunity. You see there, just as he lets that ball bounce, it finds its way into the path of Stalling, and under the pressure of Imai, couldn't get the shot on target, but a brief glimmer of some hope there for Edgeworth.
Just skipped off the turf. Just a little dewy, but also a bit of dampness from the sprinklers pre-match. Donachie. Here is Imai. Angus Thurgate just overhitting that pass, looking for the run of Risdon down that right side.
Well, they've had some good combinations down that right-hand side. Risdon getting forward. Lockie Wales coming inside into the pocket as well. And also overlapping on the outside. Side that the first goal came from. And it looked good. Combinations have started well.
And if this kind of comfortable scoreline remains for Western, then they could well bring on some of the young brigade off the bench. They've got some youngsters in Nidovsky, Kane Vidmar. His dad, of course, Tony, Uncle Aurelio. So some pedigree there. Come across from Adelaide in the off-season. Max Bassetto has been in great form in the NPL2 competition. So you sense maybe they could come on as soon as half-time if it remains at 3-0. Lockie Wales. Look at the speed of Lockie. Has Bodic, Danzaki in the middle. Spills for Risdon. He clips just over the boot of Riku Danzaki. Angus Thurgate will track it down. Links with Garuccio. Danzaki, the back heel towards Bodic. Edgeworth doing well enough. Pasquale has a hit. Sprays it wide of the target.
Well, they're enjoying it now, Western United, aren't they? Knocking the ball away.
There's the Western United bench, some experience there as well. Trapp and Lustica sitting there, and Seb Pasquale spraying wide. And, well, the bench, they're not looking too happy there. Mac and Nazarene there as well. Might be getting some game time in the second half.
Well, they'll be happier if they're on the pitch, won't they? That's where all footballers like to be. And I'm sure, as you say, the score remains as such. They'll get some minutes in this second half.
Pepper links with Wheeler. He returns it to Jacob Pepper. Conway lumping it long, but comfortable for Garuccio. The new signings for Western acquitting themselves well. Heward Bell hasn't been troubled. James Donachie. He's linking with Garuccio. He's clipping it forward to Bodic. Already a goal scorer tonight. And now Thurgate. Sutherland with the 1-2. Linking with Pepper. Unable to win the throw, though. They're going to come back here for the foul on Seb Pasquale. Danzaki, signed from Motherwell, where he spent the back end of last season in Scotland, just 4 matches. Change of coach hurt his chances, and he's come back to Australia after a couple of stints with Brisbane Roar. Now a 2-year deal with Western. Sutherland's pass. Asking for some pace here from an Edgeworth perspective. Back to Heward Bell. Comfortable for Garuccio, and now Donachie. And that's the issue when you've got semi-pros up against professionals. Usually the foot race is won by the A-League's players.
Oh, we talk about the A-League teams being so early in pre-season and maybe being a leveler, but their base fitness that they have over the course of a number of years of that level is considerably higher than the NPL. So maybe a slight disservice to them and a slight hindrance, but years of pre-seasons, as we see the heavy challenge in the midfield, this time from Pasquale.
Wheeler now Pepper and Sutherland. So Bodic, Roos and Lockie Wales, the goal scorers for Western. 3-0 up in the minutes before half-time here at Edgeworth. Jacob Pepper trying to get himself forward, get himself involved. His A-League career spanning Newcastle, Western Sydney and Brisbane. Spent some time in Indonesia, and then last year with Cooks Hill here in the NPL Northern New South Wales, and now with Edgeworth.
And he gave up his A-League career, something that he obviously always wanted to do, to concentrate on his business with his brother. And that's proved to be quite a great decision. They've got their own little business with the acai bowls and their berry drinks. And he recently posted this week that said in the last, I think it's 4 years, they've increased production 400%. So obviously a great decision for him. Obviously a great businessman off the pitch, doing wonderful things in the Newcastle area.
Yep, running that business in the heart of Newcastle, very much in the Scott Neville mould. There's a few footballers that love their cafe operations.
There's a lot of them with side hustles now, isn't it? Well, they're not side hustles so much. It's just another career, and you've got to take your hat off to them. Football doesn't last forever, so you need to start thinking about what you can do after.
He might allow space to roam. And Powiak, here's some pressure on Conway. Wales is bearing down on him. And that pass is going to invite some more pressure from Western United. It's a forlorn-looking Edgeworth bench at this stage. 3-0 down, 3 goals in 11 minutes, just in the middle of this half. can see Tom Hewitt-Bell, he's got the neck warmer on. He's making sure he keeps nice and warm this evening.
Well, it's a bit chilly tonight, isn't it? The amount of work he's had to do, he might go in and put a full tracksuit on, try to keep himself warm. And just look at that long ball that was just put through from Ben Conway to Stalling. There's no Edgeworth players really running off him. You can see that was the only target. He's already got it hard enough with Tamaki Imai and Donachie on his shoulder on every occasion, but he needs some help. He needs one of these wingers or a midfielder to make a forward run off him and really put some pressure on this Western United defence.
Danzaki should win the whistle and does from the challenge of Powiak, and here's an opportunity from the set piece. Edgeworth actually conceded a goal from this kind of range on the weekend. Dino Fajkovic from Adamstown scored a bomb of a free kick, and I'm pretty safe to say that I'll remember Edgeworth fans this kind of range in the cup as well, because Aaron Moy scored from here back in 2015. Angus Thurgate just playing it short to Garuccio, so not even going for goal, bursting the build-up totally.
Well, I was in the crowd that day when Aaron Moy scored his 2 goals. It was 2 free kicks, I believe, in the last 5 minutes. Edgeworth put up a real brave fight, and then he showed his class with 1 free kick, but 2.
Well, Edgeworth led that night. Brent Hamill scored from the penalty spot. Jackson looking for Stalling. Wales dropped back and cut it out. Yeah. Edgeworth led 1-0 in the first half. Moy equalised before half-time, and then it was 1-1 until literally stoppage time. Gave away a free kick on the edge of the box, and Moy said, top corner, postage stamp, see you later, back on the bus, and Melbourne City were through. And I tell you what, in about the last 20 seconds, I swear the temperature has just dropped about 5 degrees.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
So Tom Hewitt-Bell in the Western goal, you can see him in the yellow there. Yeah, we're with you. Get your winner woolies out in this second half. It's done yet. Risden, Danzaki, Garuccio. Oh, tell you what, Danzaki, I thought he was at Warners Bay at the Hunter Ice skating rink there, the way he slipped through. Anyway, all's well that ends well. He's walking freely and heading towards the sheds. And Western United, they'll be very pleased with their first competitive 45 minutes of the season. Here's that last little blip. Yeah, it is very greasy here tonight at Jack McLaughlin Oval, and cool. But Western United have been red hot on the field. Michael Roos, Noah Bodic, Lockie Wales scoring the first half goals. Half-time at Jack McLaughlin Oval. Edgeworth with a mountain to climb. Edgeworth FC 0, Western United 3. And let's have a look now at the highlights from that first half. And they are very good viewing if you are a Western United fan, Daniel McBrain.
Yeah, well, they had a couple of good opportunities down that right-hand side, and Lockie Wales was key to it. Bodic with an easy finish, and there was an error. Pat Wheeler slipped. Bodic's turn to provider this time. Michael Roos, clinical. His first real chance on goal, puts it in the bottom corner. And then Western United have been quite composed and patient in their build-up, and as Danzaki fell to the ground, he had a good look inside. Great vision, and see Lockie Wales to tuck it away.
And the stats they tell a pretty dominant tale. Western United, 7 shots to 1. XG up around 2 and dominating possession.
Well, I really think they tell the picture.
All right, well, we are going to take a break, and we'll be back for the second half from Jack McLaughlin Oval. Half-time Western United with a 3-0 lead. Welcome back to Jack McLaughlin Oval here at Edgeworth, where it's been a wonderful start to the competitive season for the Green and Black Western United. Noah Bodic, Lockie Wales and Michael Roos all getting on the score sheet. Michael Roos is first goal for Western United. Noah Bodic continuing on from where he left off last year. And Lockie Wales, well, he's been such a important goal scorer for Western United over the last few seasons. And he was on the score sheet in the first half. Daniel McBreen, the story for Edgeworth, though, they have really been under the cosh. Not many opportunities, penned inside their own defensive third, you could say. What do they do in the second half?
Well, it's a difficult one for them. I mentioned the amount of players they have out through injury, and it's always difficult against A-League opposition. Well, I guess it's to stem the flow and let's keep it respectable and maybe try and nick a goal in this half and make it a respectable scoreline. They don't want to let it blow out to too far. And I'm just wondering if we'll see a couple of changes at half-time from Western United. We saw a couple of their players warming up during the break. And that'll just give them a little bit more energy as the young players look to prove themselves to John Aloisi and his coaching staff.
You can see Jake Nadovsky getting ready to come on for his senior debut, which would be pretty special because he's been earmarked as a talent. He dealt with some back stress fractures last season, and he is now on the road to an opportunity in the A-League, and you can see confirmation there that he will replace Riku Danzaki. And there's also going to be a first-team debut for Max Bissetto, who's actually only joined Western United this season. He joined the academy from Moreland City, where he impressed, and he scored 13 goals across this season for Western United in the NPL2, who are actually a chance of getting promoted to NPL1 in Victoria. So that's their academy side. That is a very strong competition. As Warren Moon said, it's the centre of the universe, Macca. It is an extremely strong competition, so the fact that Western United could get their NPL team up there would be pretty important. And Max Bissetto and Jake Nadovsky, key parts of that. And they get an opportunity here in the second half. Edgeworth kick us off. A mountain to climb for them. And Jake Sutherland getting a touch, but immediately has it taken off him. And Nadovsky and Bissetto will be potentially sniffing an opportunity to open their accounts for the senior team on their debut. They're in goal scoring touch. They're in good form. Unlike, you could say, the players that have just come back in the last month to pre-season training. So you could arguably say Nadovsky and Bissetto are in better shape than majority of the squad because of that NPL season under their belts.
Yeah, well, they've got game time. And as you say, it's a strong position. Plenty of minutes in their legs and goals as well. So it's only going to add to Edgeworth's difficulties this evening.
And here's a chance to have a look at these young guns, but Michael Roos turns it over. And Edgeworth through their Frenchman, done yet. And letting it run on was Curran, but I read the situation expertly. Nadovsky, neat touch around the corner onto Wales.
Well, there you see the difference when the ball goes up from a longer pass to Western United strikers. They're knocking it down, bringing it down. And it goes the other way for Edgeworth. Imai and Donachie, step one in front, one behind, step in. And the ball just comes back to Edgeworth. Under more pressure.
Imai. And now here is Bissetto. You won't miss him with the bright orange boots. Risdon curling, Conway punching. And done yet. Patient. Lennon thumps it up towards Stalling. Brushed it off his head, but no one up top there for Edgeworth. Gee, they would love a player like Daniel McBreen, wouldn't they, out there tonight, Macca?
Not really, mate. 46 years of age and coming off a Achilles surgery. I don't think I'll be much help. I don't think I've been much help for the last 5 years. They do have a couple of young players on the bench and another old fella in Josh Rose that may get some minutes later on. I know he's been struggling with the calf a bit, so his minutes may be limited. And he did get himself a hat-trick a few weeks ago, Josh Rose.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago in that 3-0 win against Valentine. Just a huge loss with that calf issue. He's been doing a lot of travelling as well with his work and, of course, runs his own academy on the Central Coast, and he's going to hang up the boots after the final match of the season, which is at home on Sunday against Charlestown. So Pete McGuinness did say that he's going to see how things go tonight. Ooh, here's a problem for Western. James Donachie going and having a seat. Maybe his night could be over.
Well, I did see just before half-time he came over to the bench and asked for some deep heat just above the knee, and I'm wondering if it's something similar or maybe it's a new injury. I'm not too sure, but you see here, obviously, no one around him. It's something that he's felt from earlier on. Don't really see a challenge. That is, I think, the same leg that he came over and was speaking to the bench with just a bit near the end of the first half. So it's something they'll need to keep an eye on. And Jacob Tratt already getting his orders on the sideline.
Well, remember he had that knee injury in March. He suffered that. From memory, actually, it might have been against Western United when he was playing for Sydney, so I don't know whether that is a recurrence or whether it's something else, but yeah, it looks like he's done, and the newly married Jacob Tratt tied the knot in the off-season. He's going to get out there and get an opportunity. Risdon, the player of the year last season, the captain, linking with Thurgate, and now Wales. Thurgate's cross, cut off. Desperation coming in there from Lennon. And now Jacob Tratt coming onto the field. As I said, married his now wife, Sienna, in the off-season, so congratulations to them. And back here for his second season with Western United. Such a reliable option. Lennon finds Pawiak. And there's a collision on Thurgate. You sense, Mac, are just early signs here for Western United. Jacob Tratt's header onto Pasquale. Just the mobility in midfield. The upgrade, you'd probably call it, from Doumbia to Thurgate. It's a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously two different kinds of players. Thurgate, well known and renowned for being all over the place as far as his meters. He's constantly moving around the pitch. He's getting forward. He looks to get on the ball, and his work rate is phenomenal.
Chance here potentially for Edgeworth. Sutherland comes inboard, and the pass flicks off a Western leg and onto the boot of Wales.
And you can see that difference as well, just between the two teams here tonight, can't you? The physicality, the speed, the ball movement. Everything's done at 25% higher level by the men in white. And they'll be looking to have a really good start to the season this year. And obviously, champions a season ago. It was a really poor start to the season last year. From the highs of winning a grand final to really struggling in the early portions of the season.
And in the end, that was the difference for them. You look at the wash-up, and a lot of people would say Western United had a poor season, but they only finished one win outside the finals in the wash-up. Yeah. And it was that start to the season where, unfortunately, Leo Lacroix scored about 3 or 4 own goals in a short space of time. And let's be fair, sometimes when your luck's out, and that really hurt them early in the season.
Well, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen such a difference in one season to the next with a player, just through confidence, it would seem. Leo Lacroix in his first season was immense for Western United, and it just all went wrong last season. Everything he touched seemed to cause a problem.
Done yet, charging after this ball, but Josh Risdon too smart. And linking with Wales. So, somewhat more even start to this second stanza. Edgeworth holding Western at bay, but John Aloisi just barking out some instructions to his front men. Just wants a little bit more movement from them.
Yeah, he's telling them to work together. One go to the ball, one go in behind. Try and utilise the space of the movement of each other. Thinks they're a little too stagnant or doing the same thing at the moment.
Dunyet's pass. Roos linked with the Wales. Basetto in the middle. The pass picked off by Wheeler. He's curling it to safety momentarily for the Eagles. Don't forget, we've got plenty more Australia Cup coming your way on 10 Play. We've got matches on Thursday. We've got the big clash between Mariners and Sydney on Sunday. And right now, Lockie Wales with the cross, and Jacob Pepper sliding in and knocking it over the byline. Had to get involved there, Jacob Pepper, or it was probably going to be 4-0.
Well, he's been good down this right-hand side, Lockie Wales, tonight. Always looks dangerous, always a winning runner. Great pace, and looks to put balls in early.
A near post header. Gee, it was crisp, wasn't it, from Josh Risdon. And unfortunately for him, it was straight at Conway. A metre either side, it probably is 4-0. Oh! Done yet into the shoulder of Risdon just in front of us. He's back to his feet now, the Frenchman. Jackson linking with Wheeler.
I would have liked Tyson Jackson to just be a little bit more adventurous there. He did have a number of Edgeworth players making forward runs. It hasn't happened too often tonight where they've had numbers forward. He elected to turn away and allowed Western United to get set in their block again.
Nadovski. Pasquale just measures that pass, but it just slips off the grass. Conway engages in some tunnel ball, and Wales is going to score. He may get credited with it. It could be Michael Roos, but in the end, it's still a goal on the score sheet, and it's 4-0 to Western United. And Lachie Wales, he's celebrating a double tonight.
Well, Ben Conway won't want to see that again. He tried to be cheeky and pull it into his own box and got himself all in a mix. Lachie Wales just zipped on through, played the ball square, and I don't think Michael Roos got a touch on that. We'll have another look here. He really just needs to put his foot through that. Ben Conway slips at the crucial moment. And I think Michael Roos might miss that one, and I think Lachie Wales will be credited with the goal. I may stand corrected, but it didn't look like he got a touch. But good pressure and a good run, and again, down that right-hand side, Lachie Wales is causing problems. Gets himself his second for the evening.
Well, he would be named a thief, Michael Roos, if he...
There is no striker in the world who was going to try and leave that. I don't think he missed it on purpose, I can tell you.
Yeah, new at the club. Arrived during the transfer window at the beginning of the year from the Mariners. And it looks as though there's another couple of changes on the way for Western United. Steve Lustica, Rami Nazarene, they're going to come on. We've already used up 3 changes. So it looks as though, unfortunately, for Kane Vidmar, he's going to be the odd one out, and he's going to miss an opportunity to come on. There's Max Bassetto trying to squeeze in between a couple of Edgeworth players. Pasquale quickly wins it back for Western. Nadovski. Wales, Thurgate. It's well smothered there by Powiak, and then Risdon came flying through. And as I was saying before, Australia Cup, big matches tomorrow, Saturday as well. The Mariners and Sydney. Can you believe that? Second year in a row. One of those two sides is going out before the round of 16. And then Monday night to finish it all off, of course, number of matches. Newcastle involved against Brisbane Roar. That's an intriguing one as well. 2 new coaches going head-to-head.
Well, some good action. 2 A-League teams coming together. That was a blockbuster last year, wasn't it? Mariners versus Sydney. Finished 3-3. Mariners had 10 players for about 60 minutes of including injury time. And then it went to penalties.
And you know what, Macca? Sutherland. Again, Western United just awake to the danger. I still think the most impressive thing about that game was Glenn Lauder commentated it with a punctured lung. He commentated the whole match and the penalty shootout with a punctured lung. Yeah, that...
Well, that when he went home and went, I need to go to the hospital here, didn't he?
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, you've punctured your lung playing football today. So that was a good effort from him.
It's one of the great... That's one of the great stories. So Steve Lustig is going to come on in a moment for Seb Pasquale. Just getting confirmation from 4th official Sam Kelly, and then Nazarene make his way onto the park as well. Lustig, another foundation player still at the club. Imai, Risdon, Pasquale, and Lustica, the 4 foundation players still at Western United. And here is Pasquale. Maybe one of his final involvements. Bassetto. And don't forget as well, on 10 play, Macca, the Russian Saudi League. It's going to return to 10 play for the 23-24 season. Cristiano Ronaldo joined by some of the biggest names in the sport. Each round, viewers will be treated to Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr match and a further 2 Russian Saudi League matches featuring some of the biggest footballers in the world, live and free. You can catch it all on 10 play.
They've really got some players over there in the Saudi League this year, haven't they?
Edouard Mendy, Roberto Firmino's there as well.
Karim Benzema, did he go as well?
I'll just keep rattling off the names. Macca, Steven Gerrard's coaching in that league as well, so yeah, it's
Kante's there as well, I think. It's yeah, they're all starting to go. So it should be an entertaining league this year.
And Basetto's going to win a corner for Western United. It is the China of this decade, isn't it? Because remember last decade, it was all China. Yep. China was signing all the big names, and now it's...
yeah, that's why I went.
Saudi Arabia. I walked into that one. That's like walking through a rainforest and not spotting the spider's web. Here is Pasquale, comes off for Lustig. Michael Roos gets a rest as well. Rami Najarine coming on for him. So great performance, great return for Seb Pasquale. Fantastic to see him back after battling that hip injury, had that operation. Just 21 matches over the last 5 seasons, and now Michael Roos back to the bench. Scored a goal tonight. Allowed Lockie Wales a double, so that's good for him as well. Didn't pinch one off his teammate as Wales is whipping in the corner. And Nadovski can't keep it inside the line. And Steve Lustig, one of the most reliable midfielders in the competition. Former National Youth League Player of the Year back over a decade ago. He just keeps on keeping on, goes about his business quietly, the 32-year-old. Just one of those teammates you'd love to have, I'm sure. Jacob Pepper was flying through there. He was keen to potentially get on the score sheet.
Well, he's taken it upon himself on a few occasions just to break out from the centre of that back line and maraud forward.
Well, you wonder whether Pete McGuinness is going to pull that lever, get the centre back forward. Saw that from Tony Gustafsson the other night for the Matildas, sending Alana Kennedy up forward. So maybe you'll pull that lever.
Maybe a slightly different situation, but you can't see him throwing the centre back up front to try and get something out of this.
Well, 4-1, grab a goal. Just see Lockie Wales, up comes the flag. Edgeworth beaten 5-1 in their last 2 meetings against A-League opposition. As I mentioned before the match, 2019 against the Jets, 2016 against Western Sydney Wanderers. Just trying to think, Macca, whether you scored against Western Sydney. Did you score that? You did. So you scored the last 2 for Edgeworth against A-League opposition. The only other player to score was Brent Hamill in 2015. So, yeah. Of course, I remember you scored against the Jets. We don't have to relive that. I won't let you go there.
Well, since you brought it up, here, well, I've got it on my phone ready for you here.
It's your ringtone. Simon's commentary is your ringtone, I think. Here's Wales. Najarine charging after it. So too Basetto. Falls for Najarine, 1-on-1. Gets around Conway, but it's a tight angle. Says to the captain, you have a go. And Risdon. And Wales. Someone put it in. No one can. And it's going to be a goal kick. It's actually crossed the byline. And Pete McGuinness, well, didn't really want to watch that.
Well, it was Jacob Pepper, the initial opportunity to got back and save the day. And then who else but Lockie Wales involved again, and a little run in behind. On that occasion, the ball just drifting over the byline before he can get it in, but he's been involved in everything going forward, that man.
He had a quieter season last year than the season before, where he was just so critical in the run to the grand final and, of course, the victory. Remember those famous goals against that famous involvement in the semi-final to knock out Melbourne victory. Bursting forward is Powiak. Done yet? Maybe Edgeworth can grab a consolation goal. Falls at the back post to Stalling. May have struck his hand on the way through, but referee's given it a passing wave, and it's play on for Western now. Strong contact there from Risdon, so here's a whistle going Edgeworth's way. Free kick in a decent position here for the Eagles. Tackle on Curran.
He's just got his body there, Tom Curran, across Risdon. Drew the foul. Haven't had too many opportunities in this position, Edgeworth.
Well, they've got Melmoth, Dunyett, Pepper, and also Geordie Lennon. Some big bodies there. It goes near post towards Melmoth. And Nazarene drops it down for Wales. Nadovsky. A couple of changes in the offing here for Edgeworth. Here's another break, an opportunity for the Eagles, and it's Cal Stalling swerving left and right. Now Curran, and here is Melmoth. Just couldn't find its way past Hewitt Bell. It wasn't on target. Hewitt Bell will say he had it covered, but Joe Melmoth almost had Edgeworth on the scoreboard. So here's a change for Edgeworth. So Andrew Powiak coming off. So we see this opportunity for Melmoth.
Well, I thought Hewitt Bell got a touch on that initially, but in the replay I see it just went past the post. See Josh Gorman enter the fray with Mason King. Andrew Powiak and Jared Sutherland take their lead for the evening.
Yeah, Hewitt Bell there looking though. He had the protractor out. He had all the angles covered, and he was pretty confident that was sliding past the far post, and it did. And as he said, Gorman onto the field. Mason King as well. Mason King, he actually scored the equaliser against Adamstown on the weekend. So he comes in to this one in good goal-scoring touch. And Josh Gorman came through the Jets Academy. He works as an apprentice builder. So he's going to add some energy off the pine here.
Mason King, again, another ex-Jets Academy. Both 18 years of age, is that right, Benny?
Yep, Mason 18. Josh a teenager as well, so some young talent on show here for the Eagles. Thurgate and Risdon. And the desperation on show there. Lennon putting his body to work there into Bassetto. Certainly left one on him, and corner on the way here.
Well, there's been a few tasty tackles just here and there in the game. You see an aggressive challenge there, and Lennon coming back with a shoulder as the ball's cleared out for a corner.
As part of the Jet squad a couple of years ago, Geordie Lennon trialled in Scotland with St Johnstone, and now with Edgeworth the last couple of seasons. He's got a key role here defending this corner. Risdon flying in at the near post. Didn't get the contact of before. Oh, got to be careful there on the edge of the penalty area. That's Jets v Melbourne Victory areas in that playoff, as there is a free kick eventually coming for Western.
Another couple of strong challenges. Sees Western United with a free kick in a good position. See, there's the first one. And then the second.
And Nazarene just inside the D. Thurgate meshes the pass back out wide. And the cross cleared away by Dunyet. Risdon! Oh, that would have been a ripper. To put a little bit of icing on a pretty special performance from Western United.
Well, he did well to actually bring down the clearance, like it was going to fly past him, and he just pulls it down and whack. And for a brief moment there, Ben Conway thought that was flying into his top corner.
Well, the home fans will go off if Edgeworth can get one. They've looked a little more likely in the last 5 or so minutes. Nazarene breaking down that attacking opportunity. Here's Lockie Wales. Stepping forward, Lennon. And here's some space again for Edgeworth, for the youngsters to probe down this left edge. Mason King versus Tratt. The teenager taking on the experienced defender. Heward Bell has to punch it away, and Melmoth has to turn and sprint. Jackson, and now Gorman. So these youngsters, they've got no fear taking on these Western United players, and that was great to see from King up against Jacob Tratt.
Well, he's another wing back that likes to get forward, can play in that wing position or wing back. Aggressive, looks to get balls in early.
Western United looking to break again. Nadovsky and Besetto have had some half opportunities since coming on at the start of this second half. A little bit of a slip again. We haven't seen too many slip and slide in the second half. Here's an agricultural challenge. Now the yellow card comes out as we see a change here. Cal Stalling coming off, Hayden Clark coming on.
We'll have another look at that challenge here. It's going really flying out. Just lunging into the challenge. I don't think you can have too many complaints on that one. Cal Stalling takes a rest. He's had a hard job up top on his own against three, including Jacob Tratt, Harden A-League professionals. Passes that baton on to Hayden Clark, another youngster, another teenager.
Had some good opportunities off the bench against Adamstown on the weekend. Really added some spark. Maybe he's the man to raise the spirits here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. Garuccio did well against the byline, but Edgeworth have won it back. It's really well done by Tyson Jackson. Trap. And MI. Besetto. As Eagles defenders running back pretty swiftly. And again, Tyson Jackson diving in. Expert challenge.
Well, I think he's been one of Edgeworth's best tonight, Tyson Jackson.
He's always quality. Came through the Jets Academy, 6th season with Edgeworth. Very loyal, obviously. And yeah, he's certainly done his reputation no harm tonight in that right fullback role. Basetto taking on the strike. Couldn't beat Pepper. And then Thurgate with the tackle to prevent King going away. Nazarene. Wheeler sliding in. Not many get past Pat Wheeler. He's been collected after passing. Edgeworth looked to move it quickly forward. They just ran into some treacle though, and Gorman has to go back and find Lennon. Western now with numbers behind the ball again. And that is a decent delivery. What an opportunity for Edgeworth. Hayden Clark. In the end, the ball just got away from him. How about that pass? Just straight between both Western centre backs.
Jackson again, wonderful ball. And Hayden Clark found himself with a little bit of space. Look at that, like an arrow. Just a better touch there, brings it down, he can finish. And that was a real opportunity.
Jackson finding Conway. This time he's returning it to Jackson, whose touch lets him down on this occasion. Thurgate and Lustica. Nazarene and Thurgate, can they conjure up a fifth here? Western to put an exclamation point on what has been a dominant display. Basetto slips it in behind. Big chance at the back post. Oh, Nadovsky. He'll be wondering how he didn't score. It was probably more difficult to miss from that kind of range. It was fired in low and hard.
Well, he just got his angles wrong, didn't he? All came across. All the hard work was done for him. Wonderful play. We're running behind, you see, lovely ball. Fired across the 6 yard and really looked like he went with his left foot and the outside of his left. Maybe should have used his right foot inside of the foot and just tucked it into that empty net.
He was one of the goal scorers in Western United's 3-1 trial win against Melbourne City last week in that pre-season hit-out last Wednesday. Max Basetto, Riku Danzaki also scoring in that one. Do you call it a win in the pre-season, Macca? What's your view on pre-season matches?
A win's a win. It might not mean anything in the big picture, but every time you want to step on that pitch, you want to win.
Especially against the 3-time A-League premiers, 3 in a row, Melbourne City. Risdon gave Gorman the slip. And Pepper had his pass stopped by Thurgate. Nazarene, all very compact through the middle. Not much width on offer here. from Western United's front line.
Well, it's certainly turned into the last 10 minutes. Feels like a training game now, doesn't it? Western United just moving the ball around, trying to shuffle the Edgeworth defence. Really not as much cut and thrust as they had in that early 30 minutes where they raced away to an early lead. Obviously, 5 substitutions can have an influence on that. Players trying to get settled into the game and get used to the flow of the rhythm of the match.
Western United probably just keen at this point to get back on the bus and get on the journey back home, continue their build-up for the A-League season. Of course, they'll have to wait for the draw of the round of 16, provided there's no minor miracle here, but you would...
I think that would be a major miracle, not a minor one, Ben.
Nazarene. How far on the miracle scale would it be if Edgeworth conjured up 4 goals? Well, here's an opportunity for Mason King. Kept it inside the line. Jacob Tratt says thank you very much. Nazarene has Lustig. Lustig looks at him in disgust, says space for me.
Well, Josh Risden's really sucking in the big ones in front of us here, isn't he? He's put in a big shift. He's had a good battle on this side as well, getting up and down. Linked up with Lockie Wales very well in the early parts of the match on the far side.
Lustig up. Nazarene getting in behind, wanting a penalty. Well, there wasn't much contact there. Oh, and there's some contact between Gorman and Risden. On a cold night, knee-to-knee contact. It does not tickle. So, would you believe, Macca, this would be Western's first win in the cup against a member federation side.
Well, obviously they went out last year to Sydney United.
Yes, yeah. And who did they beat in the first round of 32? Come back to that. Risden's ball crossed the face. Oh, what a save from Gorman. And it's put over the bar. Well, there's a late highlight for Ben Conway. And Nadovsky, he'll be wondering what he has to do to score in this match.
Lovely play again, early wide ball, and there he is, Risden. That's a wonderful ball across, and Ben Conway's done remarkably well, and then all he seems to do there, Nadovsky, is just tap it into an empty net, and he somehow managed to lift it over the bar. And there'll be two opportunities tonight. I think that's the major one that he'll be losing sleep over. All strikers lose sleep over the ones they miss. Doesn't matter what the score is.
Yeah, and you hear it from your teammates at training.
Well, that one might get a show here in the group chat.
Nazarene. Touch in from Wheeler. Clark. Wheeler across to Melmoth. You thought it might be opening up there for Edgeworth.
Well, in that position there, Wheeler should be shooting. His nickname is One Lap, because if you don't score a goal at Edgeworth, you have to do a one lap at the end of the season, and he's done one every year, I think, except for one in his whole 11 or 12 years at Edgeworth, as we see a couple of substitutions.
Yeah, so Step comes on, and so too does Jones. Yeah, I remember, because back when I was doing a lot more NPL than I do now, I remember that forever he was, when is Pat Wheeler going to break his goal drought? I think it was about 6 years, something like that. He did score one year, might have been a header from a corner, and that's about it. So Yeah, he doesn't get too many. There's Nazarene. I can tell you this season, Pat Wheeler has scored once in the NPL, so yeah, I know.
I'm shocked.
Macca looks at me in shock. That'd be about 2 in the last 10 years, I'd say. There's Lockie Wales looking for a hat-trick. Little dink over Conway. What a night for Lockie. No! Denied by some desperation, and Conway has to take some evasive action. That was a tracer bullet from Rami Nazarene. Oh, spectacular at the end here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. Lockie Wales thought he had a hat-trick. And Rami Nazarene fired one out of a cannon, and Ben Conway with some spectacular late saves.
Well, it was a wonderful ball, and again, Lockie Wales stinks it over the keeper and thinking he's got the hat-trick. And Geordie Lennon says, not today. And the rebound comes back out to Nazarene, and Ben Conway steps up with another save.
Well, he had to make the save, or he would have ended up with a concussion, you would think. Would have smacked him in the head.
Well, they want to keep it at 4. They want to keep it somewhat respectable.
And Basetto trying to skip his way past Wheeler. We've had a little bit of entertainment in the last few minutes. It's been a quieter second half than we had first here at Edgeworth. Bodic, Roos and Wales goal scorers in the first, and then Lockie Wales with the only of the second. And Risdon, a lot of hard work he's done down the right, linking up with Nazarene, returns it to Risdon, and well, he wished he had his time over again there.
Well, he got a really bad bobble at the worst time. Here's another look at that ball through. There's Lockie Wales, thinks he's done enough. Geordie Lennon says no thank you. An absolute power driver from Rami Nazarene. And Conway gets the body in the way.
Well, credit Lennon. You're down 4-0. Credit the desperation there. Because some players would turn the toes up and say, well, who cares? But he didn't, and good on him for that. So we've got 3 minutes of additional time until Western United can celebrate going through to the round of 16 of the Cup in back-to-back seasons, and their first win over Member Federation, NPL opposition. I was quizzing you on that, Macca, so you remember who they beat last year in the round of 32? Melbourne Victory they beat, lost to Sydney United, and the season before they beat the Jets in the playoffs and then went down to Wellington in the round of 32. So yeah, it's been a tough start to the Cup for Western United. Maybe this is the year they can make a deep run. No doubt they would have thought last season they could have got past the eventual finalists, Sydney United, but they went down. This year they'll be hoping to get past that stage as Western United in a bit of a pickle. Clark trying to link up with Melmoth, and in the end they dallied and Western United pinched it back.
Yeah, another good opportunity there. Clark, like he could have even pulled the trigger or just drove into the box. He turned back again looking for support. It's just that decisive moment.
And if you're watching Edgeworth for the first time tonight and you haven't watched them all season in the NPL, this has somewhat given you a good summation of what Pete McGuinness is going to look to fix over the off-season, is that gilt-edged finishing moment, taking those opportunities when they come, because they have had some half chances tonight. They haven't finished, and in the end, that's the reason why they're not going to be playing finals in the NPL for moments like that.
Yeah, it's been a recurring theme during the season. Created plenty of opportunities, but no killer edge in that final third, in that goal mouth. Really should have, if they had put their chances away, probably would have been in finals contention at this stage, but not to be. That's one area that they'll need to strengthen.
And remember that Sasha Montefiore, their leading goal scorer this year, 11 in the NPL. He also grabbed one in the Cup as well. He missed tonight with a knee injury. And you think of the striker they've had the last few seasons in Jeremy Brocky. Big loss, big loss. They had the likes of Will Bauer before that, no longer at the club. And we don't have to go back to the striker before that period of time. Snatcherine goes to ground. And it's something that you're always searching for as a club. It's the difference between a good season and a great season, is that quality striker. So Western United, they're through to the final 16 in back-to-back seasons in the Australia Cup. A clinical display. Lockie Wales with a double. Michael Roos scoring his first for John Aloisi's team. And Noah Botic continuing on from where he left off last season, where he was their top goal scorer. In the end, the Eagles missed their chance to cause a big upset in this competition, but it was always going to be a tough ask with a number of their key players missing tonight. Full time at Jack McLaughlin Oval. Edgeworth Eagles 0, Western United 4. And let's have a look now at the full-time highlights. Daniel McBreenan from the outset, as we expected, it was all the green and black.
Yeah, it was a dominant display from Western United. Lockie Wales was amongst most of it going forward, providing the assist there for Noah Botic on the first goal. Lovely work down the right-hand side, little 1-2 on a platter. Noah Botic won't find himself in that much space, I would imagine, in the box during the season. And again, it was an error from Edgeworth on this occasion, and Botic became supplier. Square ball to his teammate Michael Roos, who was clinical, and it was 2-0 early on in the game, and Western United just went on with it from there. A little bit scrappy to the third goal, but Ricky Danzaki with the awareness to flick it back inside, and Lockie Wales found himself unmarked in the box to make it 3, tucking the ball into an empty net. And at that stage, you were wondering, well, how many is it going to be? It was a little bit better in the second half, but Ben Conway won't want to see that one again. Tried to be a little too cute, slipped over, and Lockie Wales capitalised with a square ball in that Michael Roos, I'll be generous with him and say, let it go deliberately, and it went into the box. And Lockie Wales got his second for the evening. It was a fantastic display from that man, and they were really dominant across the board, as you can see on the stats there. Almost 70% possession, everything all down that right-hand side. Shows that Western United were the better team by far and deserved their win tonight, and a good first hit out in competitive matches for this season for them.
And that wraps it up tonight from Jack McLaughlin Oval. So Western United very comfortable. Lockie Wales with the double, leading Western United through to the final 16 of the Australia Cup in consecutive years. Great to have your company tonight. Thank you, Daniel McBreen.
Thanks, Benny. It's been a pleasure.
And we'll catch you very, very soon. Remember, more Australia Cup action coming later tonight. You can keep checking out that match, Western Sydney and Florida Athena. And then tomorrow night, it continues on 10 Play. Do not miss it. Thanks for your company. We'll catch you soon.